Hello friends, welcome back again to Anthropology Answer Writing Sessions. This is day 3. As part of Anthropology Mentorship 2024, this question was posted on 3rd of October. The question is, the issues of elderly and senescence in developing and developed countries. The question was asked in 2018 previous year question papers and it was asked for 15 marks. So let us look at the approach and content of this particular question. See, as usual, I have taken one of the answers from a student in mentorship. See, the reason why I have taken this particular answer is the student has presented it in a beautiful manner. Though some of the points can be enhanced here, content can be enriched, but presentation, the structuring was very good. There was a comparing and contrasting on these developing and developed countries. Okay. Let us look at the approach. See, the question is issues of elderly and senescence in developed and developing countries. So we will be defining what are these elderly and what is at least senescence. So here he has written the definition of aging as well. Okay, that is fine. Otherwise you can begin from here according to, like from here you can write according to Sharon Kaufman. Senescence refers to the gradual and inevitable biological decline that occurs with the aging. Okay, now after that he has written the mechanism of aging and senescence. You can present it if you have no restriction or if you are having enough space. Otherwise this is also, I would say, remove this as well. Instead focus on the issues that they are facing in developed and developing countries. You may write one or two more examples there. Anyway, look at it. This is like the general process, like there is a molecular damages which happens like post reproductive time. Then from there onwards they get accumulated, that will result in the failures in the tissues, organs, and then system failure, and finally the failure of the organism itself, which is ultimate the death. Okay, now what are the issues? See, these issues you can, like for the sake of betterment of this answer, segregating this, you can divide this into biological issues, and you can divide this into let's say medical issues and socio-cultural issues. Okay, and finally economic issues. So on these four dimensions, definitely you can touch, you can compare and contrast the issues in developing and developed countries. Okay, for example, say we are talking about senescence, or elderly people. So despite whether they are in the developed or developing countries, so there will be some common features, right? So all the elderly people are prone to having more and more diseases. So the health load will be more. Then out of like money, because of this health, you have to spend more amount of money. ये सारी चीजें तो common ही रहेगा. So that's the reason why you can divide these issues into these segments and you can discuss. For example, biologically, yes, in both the countries, be it developed or developing countries, there is a biological deterioration. So there is a loss of like functionality, deterioration in the various systems. They are mandatory, because as the aging happens, this is what it's supposed to happen, as the nature already coded this, right? However, the differentiation can come because, say, it depends upon the financial resources and the health stock the developed countries are already having. As a result of it, they have better medical conditions, and you can say they have good life expectancy. So expectancy compared to the developing countries. So these are the you can say differences with respect to the biological issues. Similarly, if we are talking about medical issues, we can talk about the comorbidities or the diseases that they are prone to. See, in both the cases, they are prone to the diseases, but in case of developed countries, there is a better health facilities, healthcare is there, and better insurance penetration is there because they are aware of it, and there is a mandatory thing. And another thing is, they may even have a better health because of better standard of living. Okay, whereas when it comes to developing countries, see, the problems are still same, but however here the health infrastructure is still developing, so it may not be as good as what you find it in the developed countries. Plus medical care is also not affordable, and it is not available in some locations, particularly rural areas and all. At the same time, the insurance penetration is lesser. So as a result of all, they may not be afford and access the health services. As a result, they may be more prone to death. Okay, as a result of senescence and elderly people issues. Then similarly, socio-cultural levels. Say in case of developing countries, still the kin relationships are very strong. As a result of it, elderly people are regarded as the people with lot of wisdom. They seek their advice. They are seen as the head of the house. Take a political head of the house, and they still seek their no advice because of their superior knowledge. Also they give a lot of respect to them, and they give care as well, caregiving, family caregiving. These are all the things that you can find it in the developing countries. But in case of developed countries, already nuclearization has happened, and they give more no emphasis to the young and productive people. So as a result of it, elderly people are often paid less attention, and even caregiving is also more formal and institutional sort of caregiving, like old age homes or orphanage centers, so such sort of like nurses and all, such sort of caregiving is given there. And here if we talk about another thing, socially also they have weak social bonds. As a result of it, they may feel isolated and lack of emotional support. So these issues are the ones which are faced by the elderly people, senescence people in the developed countries. So this takes care of socio-cultural aspect. Of course, example you can provide. So this person, the student has provided very beautiful examples. Later I'll show you. Then finally, on economic grounds, if we are to compare, say developed countries being rich, having more per capita income, their per capita income is more, and good standard of living. As a result of it, they can afford medical care, they can afford better services, their hygiene, let's say infrastructure, sanitation, hygiene, access to all of them is great here. As a result of it, they get extra advantage with respect to the health, and they lead very comfortable health there. But in case of developing countries, due to financial constraints and constraints on the resources, generally the elderly people are seen as economic burden. Often they are subjugated, they are harassed for the financial supports, and even the financial independency is not there. The financial independency, or you can say financial dependency on the children, that is there. So this is the you can say the uh, contrasting issues in developed and developing. But of course there are common issues. So all the points that we have discussed are been mentioned, some of them have been missed. You can add those points. Those who are watching, you can add these points, like the respect we have discussed, and then moral compass, they are seen as the head of the family. Of course, developed countries, more preference is given to the youth population. As a result of it, marginalization of the elderly can happen. And yes, this is good example. Anthropological studies in Western societies have highlighted negative stereotypes and discriminations faced by the older individuals, which can contribute to that social isolation, mental health issues. Similarly, if we talk about social support, in developing countries, it comes from the families because of the strong kin-based support. Whereas in developed countries, it is more like formal and institutional ones, where healthcare services and orphanage centers and old age homes provide these services to them. Okay, then one more thing, gender related also, one more dimension you can add it, because looking at it, I remember it. Gender related, like developed countries, okay, gender discrimination is not so great. Both the genders are no having same issues. But in case of developing countries, in the later stages, female genders are more preferred because they can do some domestic chores and all. So as a result of it, even the children, if they wanted to keep their parents with them, they prefer female person, and male person they wanted to keep it like away from the family or in the old age homes, etc. So this kind of trend can also be seen in the developing countries. Okay. And yes, healthcare disparities. The case study has been seen Japanese for people, and rest of the points I've already discussed. We just go through it. Now, this is the case study, Japan and aging well. Say if you look at it, Japan has one of the world's highest expectancies of life, like almost 85 years, 87 years. So this study helps in understanding why elderly population in Japan experiences better health and happiness. What are the reasons? Number one, there is a good social integration. Dietary habits. They are extremely cautious about their diet and habits, and community support is there. Cultural values. You see, we look at Japan society's personality also. We study it under culture and personality school. The cultural values are very strong. As a result of it, despite having that old age population and really old age people, still the society is having good happiness indices and all. So that kind of aging is needed even in all the developing and developed countries. Okay, so in India, this joint family system, it has been a support, but however, due to the changing society like urbanization and nuclearization of the family, यहाँ पर भी we the people, elderly people are facing lot of issues. So what is required now? One is like the pension, the government social support to the social security to the elderly people, pension, providing the pension, insurance cover. Okay, so this will take care of the medical expenses and all. Then the third one is like assistance to them. See, this, there is a act in India, if you talk about it, maintenance of parents act is there, where the children has to mandatorily provide certain financial assistance to the parents for their maintenance. So this is another one. Similarly, what else we can focus? The support. So they need support, and sensitive, like these age sensitive policies has to be made, because India is right now it is at the demographic peak, and slowly in the next 20-25 years we will be aging towards this maximum aged populations, and it is estimated that 20 to 25% of the population will be aged by 2050. By 2040 we are at the peak, and it will be aged by then. So that's the reason why we need to take care of all these issues, so that we can, like developed countries, like developing countries can take that happy aging, and we can provide all the assured assistance to these elderly people. इस तरीके से आप conclude कर सकते हो. I hope this is useful. You have got 1 or 2 points. Value addition has happened. If it is, you know what to do. So see you in the next video with another approach. Till then, take care. Friends, if you have seen this video till now, that means the content is useful to you. If it is, please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. It gives a lot of motivation to continue this series. If you have already subscribed, thank you very much.